advise you again, you stay out of that park. But one of these days, you're gonna find something that's gonna walk right through your traps. Trust me, you don't want to find that animal.
You guys never heard of the White Pine Slaughter?
The what?
The White Pine Slaughter.
Just tell us the story.
You guys really want to hear it?
Yeah.
Come on. All right, buckle up.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, we're going to be looking at a brand new release that is supposedly going to flip the slasher genre on its head entirely with In a Violent Nature. Set in an unnamed forest, we follow, quite literally, a killer as he is awoken when something personal is stolen from him, and now he trudges throughout the forest, brutally killing whomever he comes into contact with, hoping to regain what he lost. A common criticism within the slasher genre is that they all feel the same. Similar tropes, similar characters, even similar presentation. So along comes writer-director Chris Nash with a bold new take on this genre. What if we forget about that group of college kids that find a cabin in the woods entirely and instead focus our attention on the killer themselves? But that's not meant in a sense where we explore the killer's motivations, because In a Violent Nature is experimental with its presentation. So we don't sit down with this great hulk of a being to find out who he is behind the mask. Instead, the camera simply remains a few paces away from him as we simply follow him along. Instead, the camera simply remains a few paces away from him. Now, that does mean that In a Violent Nature isn't necessarily the most heart-pounding horror movie that you'll see all year. There are prolonged shots of this killer walking through the forest, be it on his way to his next kill, or just aimlessly wandering. Now, I totally respect anyone's criticism for that sounding mind-numbingly dull. But in terms of situating this fresh perspective, I think Nash's work has merit. The look of the killer, Johnny, as he's coined in the film, is menacing. You know, he's got this mask that's a fire marshal mask, and his hooks and axe, and trust me, the way he uses them is quite unforgettable. The kills are what any good slasher movie should be delivering on, regardless of the perspective. And trust me, In a Violent Nature does not hold back. Sure, with some of the kills, the prosthetics do look pretty cheap, but that doesn't mean it's any less brutal. And there is one kill in this film that is, quite honestly, stomach-churning. And I mean that not just figuratively, but literally. Even if the rest of the movie fades into obscurity, that kill and that kill alone, I'm sure will go down in horror movie history. What stood out to me possibly the most, though, about this film was how the story unfolds within this perspective, especially in regards to what's happening in the background. It plays out like there is another movie happening in the background that is your paint-by-numbers slasher movie. A group of college kids enter a cabin in the woods. There's a love triangle. The group splits up at one point. They even go and find some law enforcement official who you know is just going to end up as mincemeat by the end. But the scenes occur in a disjointed fashion, so we don't see the connective tissue between those moments because we're following the perspective of the slasher themselves. So we only see those moments when the slasher would typically show up. Now, that does result in many of these other characters having to talk only in expositional dialogue, so we, the audience, can pinpoint where we are in this slasher movie. And what doesn't help is that this crop of actors that we have in this film, they're not exactly the best of the bunch. One build-up to a kill is quite honestly laughable in how robotic this person reacts and moves. The other downside to Nash's film is its ending. The final 15 minutes of this film drag on and on and on, and it just carries on going without any ambition to reach a particular end goal. As has been proven with the online response, In a Violent Nature is going to be like Marmite. Some will admire the unique an unorthodox take on what is a well-worn genre, whilst others will find the meandering around the forest and prolonged shots of nothing but walking monotonous. As for me, I appreciated Nash's intentions, and I thought it mostly worked. Savage kills will satisfy gore fiends, but abysmal acting and a deflated ending results in a singular horror experience, but one that I'm not likely going to rush back to. So I'm going to give In a Violent Nature a 6.5 out of 10. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on In a Violent Nature. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I said it in this review, but what do you think is the most violent horror movie kill that you have ever seen? But that is all the time we have for today, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.